Hey, Freedom Fighters, welcome to the Health Freedom Show, where we show you tips, tricks, and real world strategies on how to get healthy, stay healthy, and live the life you were meant to live. I'm your host, Elmer Renton, and today's show is going to be a good one. I'm interviewing highly acclaimed television and film producer Meghan Hall. Meghan has dozens of high level shows and docuseries that she's worked on, including and most recently, Jay Leno's Garage. Welcome to the show, Meghan.
How you doing?
Hello. Al, how are you, my dear?
Very good, very good. So, in today's interview, we are going to discuss the cannabis and CBD industry and Megan's experience in cannabis, and as well as with myfitlife Cannabis and CBD, which is my company. But first, I'd like you to share a little bit about your amazing background.
Goodness. First off, hello everybody. Al, it's an honor. We go way back. Guys, just a little bit about me. I live in Los Angeles. I have worked in television production. I have directed shorts. I'm really prominent in the doc-reality TV world. I've worked on shows like Deadliest Catch, Ice Road Truckers, Axemen. I've Jay Leno's Garage. That the list is prominent. But I think ultimately it's LA. So it's like I love capturing real life stories. So that's where I'm coming from.
Right on. Yep. And that's sort of how I met you. Way back, what it was like 2016, 2017, right around there, right?
2016 is what I have. Yeah.
And at the Women's Grow event over in Orange County, you were a panelist talking about cannabis, and
Filming.
that's
Yeah.
back in the Wild West days too, right before it became legal, kind of thing.
When
And
everyone kind of had free range and the cannabis companies were thriving and mom and pop shops were not taken over by negative corporate crap. Yeah, it was then. Yeah.
yeah, that was awesome. And so I was listening to that. I had decided to come heavy duty into the cannabis industry at that time, and that event popped up. So I went, and I was fascinated by your story. With
Yeah.
not only with the in the television and producing, and your experience working with the cannabis companies and stuff like that, but with your mother as well. And the purpose that you have that drives you.
Yeah, so interesting. So when we met and I was speaking, one of the things that really led me into the cannabis world was my mom. She, in around the 2015, 2016 time that me and Al met, had just undergone surgery. She was diagnosed with a really rare disease called arteriovenous malformation of the spine. AVM is kind of the abbreviation of it. And it's a very rare disease where your blood vessels can get coiled up, kind of like a rubber band. And at any point in time, one could then bust. And then the next thing you know, you are unable to, let's say, walk. Or if it's on the back of your vertebrae, you would be paralyzed. So my mom has it on her lower back. And at that point in time, and Al, I'm just jumping into it right from the door, just so everyone can know. But I being in the TV world and filming, I also then was stuck with this predicament. My mom's my whole world. So I'm going to try to figure out anything that can be done outside of she's had 2 surgeries now, but her mobility and her being able to walk is in question. And how do you solve that for the mother that's been there for you your whole life and loves you unconditionally? There is no limit to what you would do for your mother. So I had started looking into CBD, and I was already in the cannabis space just as a recreational fan. And I started diving more into CBD and the holistic way to heal outside of surgeries and Western medicine. I really wanted to tap into Eastern and more holistic ways to heal that would be permanent, and she wouldn't have to be on painkillers the rest of her life. So CBD. So fast forward to I get really into learning about CBD, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make a show about this. So I really started documenting the process of me finding all these different cannabis companies and really kind of honing into who are the most solid and would be helpful for my mom, and who are, they're great, but I really want to capture those that are going to take us to past, this where we're at right now, this third dimension, fourth dimension, move into a fifth dimension, holistic, full blown, superhuman powers. So anyway, I came across Movita then at this conference, and uh, we're talking, and I mentioned my mom. He had heard me talk about it as a panelist, but then he also set me aside and he said, Megan, I want to talk to you about your mom. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, this is my company, My Fit Life, and this is what I'm doing. And I want to help your mom. And I want to help you and, those that you love. So right away, just thinking about who Al is as a human being, this gentleman came as a stranger and introduced himself and said, you don't know me, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help your mom. So if anyone had any other questions about Al, for me, is this man has helped me immensely, and that's how he introduced himself. I'm going to come and I'm going to help you. So, I think it's really important to note that My Fit Life is that for you. You help us. You help people. Bottom line. And I know it's a big intro, but I want to say too that my mom has been now taking your product for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. God, 6 years now. Al has been so prominent in delivering every time. He's delivering 6 years. I've been on it. My mom's been on it. My cat Hemingway has been on it. And we're doing really good. And I'll fill you in, Al, on the progress of my mom as I give him reports every couple of months, but she's doing great. She's now not just in a wheelchair, in a walker. She's moving around. Pain is virtually gone. And now it's just stiffness. And she's actually moving forward and getting to the point where she can use a cane. It's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to stop and let you go because I've just been talking a lot. So please go.
Right on. Yeah. So that's amazing, and your story really did touch me, and being that it's illness that has like there's no cure, there's no whatever for it, and it's almost like the glaucoma, there is no hope for it,
Right.
and so I wanted to do what I could to help, and so that's awesome in and of itself, but the other awesome part is for you, plus Hemingway. We'll get into Hemingway too,
Yeah.
but you yourself, like when you started taking it, because I was like, hey, I want you to take it too, and experience it, and and we started working together. You started even like interviewing me and doing a bunch of stuff. But
Yeah.
I remember we were doing this show one time over in downtown LA.
Yeah.
And you were like, and I about a couple of weeks earlier when you had just started on our stuff, and I said, hey, this stuff gives you like confidence and clarity and all this kind of stuff. It's not just the physical, it's the mental,
Yes.
and it does all these things. Well, I could use that, and I remember we were getting ready for the show. It was like 1:32 a.m. And you hopped in the elevator to go downstairs to get more stuff and bring it back up. And you looked at me and you said, hey, you know what? That stuff you said about the clarity and the confidence and everything. She goes, we're getting ready for a show right now. And I would right now, I would be like freaking out. And I'm not. I have it under control. I know everything's going to be okay.
Right.
And who is this woman?
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was neat,
Yeah. Yes. It's life changing. Like I will never not be it's part of my regiment, if that makes sense, to this day. Like you become the superhuman that you are supposed to be.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Life lived better.
Yeah,
So,
it's true.
so right on. So, and then the one thing about you that's really cool too is like you've worked behind the scenes, when you were working with the documentary, doing the interviewing the cannabis companies, and
Yes.
also with the Cannabis Financial Network,
Yeah.
you interviewed like hundreds of, right?
So many. So
Uh,
many.
Yeah. So you got to see, and a lot of times you even went to the companies and got to see behind the
Oh yeah.
scenes of how they worked and everything. And like how like what was your experience with that and how it like compares to us?
So when I had mentioned about, filming all my experiences and interviews, so I was blessed with being able to work with Cannabis Financial Network, also Hasty Storytelling, who did all the filming and worked with me on all the interviews. We're talking thousands of cannabis companies, thousands of CEOs that either I was flown to meet or that came to meet me because it was getting so big that I was now people were aware of what I was doing and wanted to be a part of it. And the Cannabis Financial Network set up a platform to allow for me to then bring either everyone to me or me to everyone. So we're talking thousands and thousands of hours of content. So when I talk about having that select, like limited group of cannabis companies that after all the interviews can then hold and narrow down and go, this is who I would want to take and have in my body for the rest of my existence as a human. These are the companies. And for myfitlife, Al, uh, nonstop, like even to be honest, Al, like you have been your company, your product has, I mean, I would have to, I mean, without like being cliche that I'm in an interview with you, but it really is my number one out of everything else from that. Like I will take it for the rest of my life. My family and children will take it. Like I will make sure that it is a prominent thing. And it's also why, I don't really like to do a lot of interviews. So for me to do this with you, it's the least I can do, and I will always be supportive of your work, and I will always make sure that with all the filming and everything that I do, that you will be carried along with me in my work. Just yeah, I mean, between me, my mom, and just I'm very thankful for you. So yeah, it's these companies, and they're great companies, but to be honest too, it's sad, Al, and that you can agree with me here. Um, the the shift from 2016 Wild Wild West as we moved into now we're in 2022. How funny is it that like those mom and pops plays like all those really good potential mom and pop companies wiped out, and now we're dealing with like the bigger companies, and we all know who they are because they're like everywhere, like Walmart, and they're just kind of there. And then I'm seeing cancer warnings outside of these cannabis shops. And if we know anything about cannabis and the plant itself, that would be the last thing you would ever need a warning for. Why is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it's interesting, the the cannabis industry and CBD industry. It's a big corporate thing now that the smaller guys have been like hammered out,
Yeah,
like been offered the money to either be bought out or just and if they didn't accept it, they were shoved out, and forced out. And I've had companies try to do both to me, and individuals try to do both to me
okay.
over the years,
I was
you
gonna ask.
know. And I've been in cannabis, this. I've been in cannabis and holistic health since 1987, and like I'm not going anywhere. I have the relationships. I deal with generational farmers.
Yeah,
Like their fathers grew and sold to me in some instances.
yeah,
It's a thing where our quality, purity, potency is second to none because of just the decades of experience that I have, but also being able to have those direct relationships with the farmers. I was the extractor, at first, but now it's gotten bigger. So, I've refined the extraction process, and
right.
I have extractors that do exactly to my scale. And
And
then,
this sets you apart. This
and
sets you apart from
yeah,
everyone else. Keep going.
and I do all the formulations. I created the formulations, and I perform all of them.
Yeah,
'Cause, and I'm also the guinea pig. With my glaucoma, I go
right,
blind in less than a week if I stop taking my stuff,
right.
and if I have bad stuff, I start to go blind as well. So I'm the like the tester for all this, all everything, because it comes off the shelf.
Ultimately, you could not ever and would never sell out and give away this beautiful company because you are patient zero. Basically, like if it doesn't go correctly, then you can't see in a week. That's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
The potency of this is so on point, people, that you know it's good because the creator of it takes it so that he can see. How do you
Yeah,
get how do you get more like it's powerful. It's very powerful.
yeah, extremely, because like what I use for my full extract oils,
Yeah,
I can't find anywhere else,
right.
So for my specific stuff, there's other things that general things, but for the hardcore conditions, that you need a certain extraction process, and you need it from grow to extraction to formulation, all has to be done correctly, and it
Right.
has to be done correctly every single time. There can never be like oh well, we'll do it good or right next time. Like every single batch has to be perfect, or it gets thrown
Right.
away.
Right. And you
It's
oversee all of it.
yeah.
You're friends with the farmers, like, you really go out of your above and beyond to make sure that your product is next level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I want to get talk a little bit about Hemingway,
Okay.
because
He's right there.
he, because he benefited as well, and it's it's cool to see like all the different ways that people can benefit and animals can benefit, like, because sometimes people think of it, because I have the glaucoma, that's just these hardcore things, and then there's then some people just will just pigeonhole it into like anxiety, or into like these,
Sure,
or
sure.
discomfort or something, but there's so many things that it helps with. And tell us a little bit about Hemingway.
Well, absolutely, but let me backtrack just real quick. I mean, considering you have the glaucoma, then think about my mom and her arteriovenous malformation of the spine. Like, that's completely different thing, but it goes in and allows for the body to repair itself so that you're healing and you're not just masking the pain. You're actually healing. I don't know how to explain that any better, but anyway, so Hemingway, so my my cat, yeah, he is actually sleeping right over there. Um, he's my everything. Hemingway was a rescue. He lost his twin brother, and I've had him now for going on 11 years. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so you wouldn't be able to tell. But him kind of growing up scrawny after taking the furry blend, and I might pull him over here if I can. He's cozy, but he's basically a small tiger. he's, just the health in him. He's strong. His fur is perfect. He's strong, and it's like he's healthy. And I tell this with people that whose animals don't necessarily have anything wrong with them. I'm like, I would be giving this to them anyway, just because you love your pet. It's healthy for them. Again, it allows for them to just keep regenerating their cells and grow and be healthy. And Hemingway will be on it, just like me and my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Al, thank you.
Right on. Yeah. So that's how it should be for everybody, right? Like if you love yourself, you should be taking this stuff,
Yeah.
because you have an endocannabinoid system that needs to be fed. This is the education part right here. You have an endocannabinoid system that needs to be fed. It affects every part of your body, from your brain, all your central nervous system, your muscles, your bones, your organs, every single thing. There's receptors all over your body for that. And many of the things that happen to people, and like from malnutrition to anxiety to the discomfort to the hardcore conditions, a lot of times it's just a cannabinoid deficiency.
Copy.
when
Yeah.
you when you have the cannabinoids inside of you, then these miraculous things happen. And it's like, people are like, how can it help so many things? It's just that people manifest in different ways when they're in ill health,
Right.
and there's only a certain amount of things that will bring them back to uh, optimal health.
Correct.
and CBD cannabinoids period are an essential part of that, because you have the endocannabinoid system.
Correct.
There's other things, like the MSM and the, and eating right and, moving right, but
Right.
that's why it's so essential, is because you do have that system inside of you that provides homeostasis or balance in your body. So
Why aren't we learning that as like that? I just feel like once we tap into that, like when I say superhuman, I'm not joking. I'm very serious. When we tap into that and we're healing and that on top of being healthy, which you also that's your whole vibe. It's that you're not just healthy when it comes to good food, you're also healthy now with the CBD product with your ultimately you're blending the two, so your endocannabinoid system and your nervous system blend perfect in harmony, and then boom, you can fly. I don't know, but like
yeah. Yeah, that's basically it, though. The we are understanding what's going on now more because of the exposure that's happening in the world, with the crises and things, and the underhanded things that have happened with health and in the healthcare system are starting to be exposed.
correct.
But it didn't just start happening. It happened way back when, back in the 1860s, when the AMA, American Medical Association, first started, and then all through when the Rockefellers got in
Yep,
with them in the pharmaceutical industry and
yep,
started making the medications, and shortly after that was when cannabis was banned. You
right.
know, there was like 42 doctors that were interviewed, highly prominent
Yeah,
national doctors, and they said, "Hey, should we ban this stuff? Do a prohibition on it."
right.
And like all but 5 of them said, "No, we shouldn't. We should not do that because it's essential to health." It was the most prescribed before 1937. It was the most prescribed substance,
Wow.
right? The most prescribed substance by doctors, homeopaths, MDs, everything. And after that, it was just taken away, and taken away from the farming and ingesting and stuff like that. And since 1937, the decline of health has been rapid and immense. And that's why when you just reintroduce the cannabinoids, why there's so much benefit, right?
Correct.
Because
That
we had it before,
makes sense.
we didn't, and now we do. And now there's opportunity.
There is, and enough people are waking up to really see like this plant has saved too many lives and done too many things, even while it's been illegal. That at some point it will erupt, and trust me, I'll be filming all of that part too to add to all the stuff I've already filmed. But we're hitting a breaking point where the cannabis industry is so exhausted with all the crazy taxes, like everything in every the cannabis the true diehard cannabis people have fought tooth and nail to try to survive. When they are able to, and we're able to somehow crush the narrative and step up, we're going to have healing across the world. We're going to have, it's going to be a utopia. So, I mean, can you not agree with me? It will be so beautiful what's going to happen. And
Oh
just
yeah.
sending so much love to all the mom and pop cannabis companies that were really great that are haven't survived. Al, and that's the other thing. It's like, how have you managed to survive during all this, man?
Yeah,
It's been gnarly.
yeah, I'm aware of what's going on. Like I said, people have tried to take me out, and do
Yeah,
in different ways, and I'm just aware of it because, I've been working with cannabis for so long,
right.
and it was very hard, before it was
Yeah,
totally legal, and
yeah.
I had people try to take me out back then. So the people trying to take me out now, they're nothing. you, you know,
I think
like the other people were trying to take me out for real, and but it's a like I'm a good business person too. I'm an entrepreneur,
right.
and I know and I'm honest, and we do things the right way, so people can't come back and ever say anything about anything, right? You know, so when you run on integrity and the product that you have is amazing, then your existence becomes much easier. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have to fight to get customers and stuff like that, you know, and things like that. You know, I have customers that have been with me since 1987. You know,
Wow.
it's because they understand quality, purity, potency, integrity, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not it's there's less of it now, you know, in today's world, right? What you're saying though, with the hope and the utopia and all that, is another reason why I'm in it, and I refuse to leave, is because there what you're saying is exactly true, and cannabis is part of that. It's not just a utopia in cannabis or utopia in health, but
Right.
utopia for the whole world.
Yeah.
There is, you know, that this is the dawning, you know, of the age of Aquarius kind of a thing,
Yeah.
you know, and amazing things are being revealed, you know,
Correct.
and as they are being revealed, you know, the bad things will be replaced, so we can step into that fifth dimension and be, you know, truly, you know, light beings, you know, and
Yeah.
that's where we are headed, and that's where my ship is headed, that's where your ship is headed, and you know, I'm happy to be, you know, along for the ride kind of a thing.
Al, and you're a prominent part of that ride, my friend. You know, just trust me. And I feel like that's why uh, I think you're divinely protected, because you do have a mission that's bigger than just, you know, it's just bigger. How do you explain it to 3D people? I don't know. It's a good, it's good. I think just everyone knowing that you exist in the world, and that as we move into this beautiful utopian world, like this, you will be very busy. You'll be very busy. Oh man.
Right on.
I knew you first. I knew you first. So
Right on. But yeah, so I know you're a busy woman. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I want to thank you so much for doing this interview with me, and being on the Health Freedom Show, sharing your knowledge. And I know that you're like being behind the camera and behind the
yeah,
scenes more so. So
yes.
so thank you again. And to all the health freedom fighters out there, remember, you can support the channel by going to myfitlife.net, and you get a 20% discount off all our products by using code MFL20. Okay, freedom fighters, thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Bye everybody. Thank
Peace.
you. Bye Al.